Once again, cheating accusations rock the world of Hustler Casino Live, but this time we're not talking about everyone's favorite hero call. Nor are we talking about influencers on Instagram looking for loans. Also, today's story is not going to be about Japanese guys that came into the Hustler Casino scene, made a big splash, and disappeared with millions of dollars in debt. We're also not going to be talking about fake Okay, guys, there was a lot of stories, but let's focus on this one for today. The high-stakes poker player known as Mars from Hustler Casino Live has been accused by Nick Airball and Wesley of using cheating techniques in private home games with millions of dollars at stake. But what exactly happened in this private game in Los Angeles? Today, we take a closer look. To fully understand this story, we need to understand the timeline. Just a couple of days ago, Nick Airball tweeted out saying, "Just found out that someone who I thought was a close friend of mine cheated me out of $1 million in a series of poker games. Very hurt and upset for obvious reasons. More details soon." When I first saw this tweet, I thought, something here's not quite right. And then I realized, Matt Berkey and Nick Airball aren't friends. But that was a different 1 million. Just a couple hours later, Nick went on to tweet, "Whatever, I have no patience or tolerance." It was Ye Shen, aka Tony, aka Mars. His Twitter is @MarsBackToEarth. All details and whatnot will be released soon in a more digestible format. Well, golly gee, I wonder who they're going to choose for that. Short version is he brought a mechanic, dealer, and special cards that are see-through with special contacts. Tremendous allegations here from Nick Airball. But before we dive into those, we have to ask the question, who exactly is Mars? According to PokerTracker.com, version 4 is available for update. According to TrackingPoker.com, Mars is up over $523,000 playing poker on just Hustler Casino Live alone. That means over just about 2 years of playing on the show, Mars is the 15th biggest winner, which sounds pretty nice right now, but I am top 10. Losers.
Fold. Show him.
Fuck. Wow. Fuck.
Outside of his appearances on Hustler Casino Live, not all that much is known about Mars other than the fact he does play in a lot of high stakes private games. Recently, in an interview with Poker News, Wesley Fay, known from Hustler Casino Live as well, and also from some recent fake allegations of a cheating scandal that I didn't break down because frankly it was complicated, I didn't know what was going on, but it seems like the cliff notes there were Blank Check Ben decided to put a hit piece on Wesley with a story that wasn't true, and it came out later that it was a false allegation. Regardless, Wesley revealed more details of the story in an article on Poker News. These are the main claims that Wesley made in that article. Mars allegedly brought his own special deck to a private game in Yorba Linda, California. Mars could see through, presumably with the help of special contact lenses. Mars then supposedly won approximately $3 million in the game over the course of about a year. The games played are mostly 25, 50, and 5100 blinds between recreational players and a few known Hustler Casino Live regs such as Nick Airball. I will note that a deck was found to be marked in this game, but we do not know how many games that deck was used in or what the dollar value is of all of the games that a deck was used in. But it is safe to say that if you find a rigged deck in a game, well, chances are it probably wasn't the first game that it was used in. Unless you guys are really good at catching a hanger, Sarge.
Caught a hanger, Sarge. But what a hanger?
At this point, we have to introduce yet another character, Zio, who is a private game host in California. And I actually got to talk with Zio a bit before making this video. Wesley said he is confident that Zio is not involved in the cheating and makes the following claims about the game. The game runs about 2 to 3 times a week. Mars offered to bring his own deck and suggested others bring a dealer to the game. Wesley's down about $1 million in the game, and Mars is up about $1.6 million himself. Mars brought 2 players named Peter and Bruce, who are also up in the game. Mars, Peter, and Bruce are allegedly up $3.1 million in that game. My thoughts? What the hell was going on in Yorba Linda? I've never even heard of Yorba Linda before, but seems like it's a nice area. A lot of crime though. In a statement from Zio about the game, he said, "I have been playing high stakes cash in LA the last few years. I started hosting private games this year after World Series of Poker. About 2 months ago, Ye Shen asked me if I wanted to partner with him, and I agreed. On October 14th, I was supposed to host a private game in downtown LA with Mars. Mars asked me if I wanted to bring my own dealer or my own deck to the game. I told him I don't really care. He then told me he would get the dealers and bring the deck to the game. Around 6 p.m., Mars suggested hosting the game at Yorba Linda because there were a few Chinese players that wanted to play there. I arrived at Yorba Linda at the same time as Mars around 8 p.m. Shen and his girlfriend were there already. She was practicing dealing with the dealer that we had because she was trying to learn how to deal. Seems legit. After the game, a few players felt something was weird about the hands they played, so they kept the deck and did a quick check. They found the cards were marked, and you can see the card from the back with special glasses or contacts. So they contacted Mars right away, and Mars said he would talk to me about it. I did not know any of this until about 2 weeks ago. Wesley told me to meet him in Yorba Linda. Mars told them I brought the deck, and he would talk to me about it or have me talk to the people in Yorba Linda. But he never mentioned it to me in those 2 weeks. After having a conversation with Wesley and the players who found the deck, they began to suspect Mars after I showed them the text I have with Mars proving that I did not bring the deck. So basically, there is some arguing about who brought the deck. It seems that everyone agrees the deck was marked, but exactly who brought the deck to the game is what's being debated. So what proof do Nick Airball and Wesley Fay have about the cheating? Wesley claims the following: after a game, we found a cheating deck. The deck is a very good cheating deck that you can't find. But we went to a very dark room and used a blue light, and you can see the numbers on the back of the deck. Wesley also offered screenshots showing that Mars did in fact offer to bring his deck to the game. I can bring some decks from Yorba Linda. Wesley has shared the following videos showing that they are in possession of marked cards. You can take a look at them here.
Yes. Four, diamond 4. You can see the suit from here. Actually. 5, diamond 5.
A concern might be that we do not know that this deck was the one used in that game. However, in a statement posted by Poker News from Mars, he goes on to say that the deck was marked in that game. One thing Wesley and Mars agree on is that the marked cards were spotted in a high-stakes Southern California private game they both regularly played in, but they're on different pages as to how the special deck ended up in the game. It is very safe to say that this is the deck used in that game. And in that game, we have the results from certain players that played in it. I'm going to blur players' names that are not necessary for their privacy, but I want to point out 2 people that ended up money because I think it's relevant: Shen and Tony. In the interest of total fairness, there were a couple other players in the game who did win. However, given what we know, doesn't look great. It's also worth noting that there has been a lot of discussion about a mechanic dealer named Mike that played in these, or that dealt these games rather. And apparently the story goes as follows. There is someone named Vicky who is a host at Commerce. And then according to Wesley and Zio, apparently Mars said that Vicky referred in some dealers, but the information shown was a fake Vicky, and the dealers provided were Mike and a couple other dealers as well. And these dealers are apparently somewhat known for being mechanic dealers. I can't verify that that is true or not, but that is what the allegation is against them. With all of this evidence starting to pour out on social media, Mars took to Poker News to respond and answer back against the allegations. I'm writing this statement to set the record straight on some false accusations that have personally damaged my reputation, Mars says. I have won and lost huge amounts numerous times in my poker career, but I have never cheated in a game, and I have always paid when I lost. Regarding the dealers, these are baseless accusations. Moreover, I'm not in charge of hiring any staff, Mars continued. As for why Wesley, who was his friend, would accuse him of cheating, Mars ponders that, saying Wesley is broke, desperate, and tries to not pay the money he owes me. So we do have an outstanding debt in this scenario. He's trying to poison the mind of anyone that will listen, Mars concluded with a statement. All of these are confirmed facts, not baseless accusations. Well, we're going to need to see a little more confirmation on the fact front, but at least Mars did go public with a response. Unfortunately for Mars, other people have been coming forward to speak out. Players including one of the Lodge's all-time biggest winners, Keyboard Monkey, who tweeted, retweeting because I played a game a few months back in Hamptons where Mars back to Earth and other LA Asians were randomly there and won all the money. I lost a lot and one massive, extremely strange hand to Mars himself. Will never play a home game again, to be honest, and don't trust a single person from the poker world outside sanctioned casino games. That's right, Keyboard Monkey. Although the Lodge Card Club is not a casino, I'm with you. Card rooms, that's where it's at. Ye Shen, or Brown Bala on X, also gave his opinion on the matter, saying, hey everyone, so I'm going to weigh in on my perspective on the Mars scandal. So I didn't play much at the Chinese home games, but I did a couple of times. But there was one time I lost 100K where in retrospect, it's extremely likely I was cheated. It was a big straddle pot, $800 was on, where another player opened to 3K, one call in the middle, and I squeezed kings to 14K on the button. The so-called whale that Mars later stacked in a different hand made no sense, cold called, and then open folded. Flop queen 8-2, he donked for 12K, I jammed my remaining 35, and he calls 8-2 of hearts. I was suspicious, but since the whale dusted his 200K stack to Mars later, I just assumed he was a mega whale and didn't know what he was doing. At the time, I didn't consider that they could have been cheating together. I've talked to other players that know this so-called whale sense, and they told me he's extremely tight. Mars defended himself by denying the allegations and trying to defame Wes in return leaves an extremely bad taste in my mouth. We all considered Mars our friend, and this situation is very disheartening.
This sucks.
Brown Balla went on to say, this was the only time I played with that whale, so I don't have a huge sample size. But as to your fake whale point, yes, seems that way. I mean, in retrospect, it makes perfect sense. You have this guy that you say is super action and a whale, and when he wins suspicious hands, you get suspicious, but then when he shoves 10s on ace 7-3 versus Mars, and Mars calls ace king, it just looks like he's a punter. Sashimi also responded, when I was playing with him, there was a quadruple straddle action. I got kings, the other guy had aces, and I lost 100K pot. Is that cheat or unlucky? Wasn't against Mars. Who knows? I reached out to Ryan Feldman at Hustler Casino Live about if HCL wanted to have a comment, to which he said they do not want to take an official comment on the situation. However, based on the evidence provided to them, they have decided to not allow Mars to play on the show for the time being, or maybe forever. I don't know. It's unclear. Some amount of time. At this point, I want to get into some interviews that I did. I had a call with Wesley where he broke down different parts of the story. Let's go ahead and jump into it.
What Mars did? It cheated us.
Okay, all right. How much money do you think Mars cheated you out of?
So I have a account book, right? So he and his group is up 3.1 million.
Who's his group?
So there are two English speaker. I'm sure they are his group. So Bruce and Peter, and there is a dealer called Mike, and another dealer Andy, but he don't deal like very often. And his girlfriend, Sia told me they broke up like after we found the magic deck. They after like 1 week, she told us they broke up, and I don't know, but yeah, Sia. I mean, I'm a normal person, so it's a cheating game for the last 8 months, right? So the player who is up a lot, I'm assuming they are cheating together. Besides, she's Mars's girlfriend for like 5 years. And another guy called, do you remember 2 years ago, WSOP, there is a guy called Aaron Zhang? Yeah. But he denied he was cheating with Mars, but he's up to 70 something. Sia is up like, they're both up around 300K.
Oh, so Sia played in the game.
Yeah.
Look, guys, we're going to have a tough conversation. I've said this so many times. I've been a broken record for years. When you play in private games, shit can go down. All kinds of shit. People can cheat. People can collude. People can rake you to death. People can raid the game. Cops can show up. It can get busted. There are so many things that can go wrong when you play in a private game setting. Now, That's not to say you should never play them if the stakes are reasonable or you have real insight into the way the game is played, or you're running the game, or you're cheating. It's great to run a private game, but just showing up where some other guy brings the deck, I think you gotta be skeptical about that. I feel like we don't have to do this. I feel like you guys know. I feel like you know. Anyway, that's gonna be it for me. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys again soon. So many times. How many times are we gonna do this?